Nobody told you the saddest truth yet. Some of your pain is not just from what happened to you, but from what you keep replaying when nobody is watching. You say you want a new life, but every night you keep feeding the old one with tears, excuses, and one more day of delay. And the part that hurts most is this. The future you keep begging for cannot hear begging. It only answers construction. So if you are tired of soft lies and empty noise, keep this voice near you, walk with me to the end, and let this be the night something in you finally wakes up. Because I know you are tired. I know what it feels like to sit in a dark room with a heavy chest and wonder why life feels like it keeps punching you while other people keep moving. I know what it feels like to be disappointed, embarrassed, behind, broke, ignored, and quietly scared that maybe you missed your moment. I know that pain. I am not talking down to you. I am talking to you like someone who cares enough to tell you the truth. And the truth is this: crying can release pain, but it cannot build a future. Stop crying. Start building. Stop crying. Start building. Let that settle in. I am not saying never feel. I am not saying become cold. I am not saying pretend nothing hurts. Cry if you must. Breathe if you must. Sit still for a minute if you must. But do not unpack your bags in sorrow and call it home. Do not turn a bad chapter into your whole life story. Do not make your wound your identity. Too many people have made a little room in pain, put a chair in it, hung their name on the wall, and started living there. Then they wonder why nothing changes. Think about that. You cannot build a strong life while you are kneeling at the feet of your own sadness every single day. At some point, the tears have to wipe off. At some point, the story has to change. At some point, you have to stand up, look in the mirror, and admit that the person capable of changing your life is already in the mirror. Not your ex, not your boss, not your parents, not your luck, not the world, you. And I know that truth is hard because part of us wants a rescue. We want a hand to reach down and pull us out. We want somebody to finally see our pain and reward us for surviving it. But life does not work like that. No one is coming to wake you up. No one is coming to force you to be disciplined. No one is coming to build your future. That is your job, your sacred job, your lonely job, your beautiful job. So let us start there. Picture your life like a piece of land. Right now, it may look messy. There may be broken boards, old junk, weeds, and mud everywhere. And you are standing there crying because it does not look like the house you want. But listen to me. The crying does not clear the land. The wishing does not clear the land. The blaming does not clear the land. You have to pick up the shovel. You have to move the stones. You have to clear the weeds. You have to do the ugly part before you get the beautiful part. That is how life works. First the mess, then the work, then the order, then the strength. And this is where most people lose. They do not lose because they are weak. They lose because they are waiting to feel ready before they move. They lose because they think the first step should feel grand, clear, and dramatic. But real change almost always begins in small and quiet ways. It begins when you make your bed after weeks of chaos. It begins when you go for a walk instead of sitting there drowning in your own thoughts. It begins when you stop sending the message you know you should not send. It begins when you save 10 pounds instead of wasting it. It begins when you read 10 pages. It begins when you apply for one job, one step, one act, one proof. Brick by brick, breath by breath, day by day. There is a young man somewhere right now, sitting on the edge of his bed, scrolling, comparing, hating his life, saying he wants more. But the room is dirty, his word means nothing to himself, and his days have no shape. He keeps saying he is waiting for the right time. The right time for what? To respect himself? To begin? To try? Listen, the right time is not coming dressed in gold with a trumpet in its hand. The right time is hidden inside the next hard thing you keep avoiding. Maybe it is getting up early. Maybe it is turning your phone off. Maybe it is saying no to people who drain you. Maybe it is working a second shift. Maybe it is learning a skill after a long day when every part of you wants to quit. Whatever it is, that is the door. That is the start. Not in blaming, not in complaining, not in waiting, but in ownership. Because the day you take ownership, your power comes back. The day you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I build from here? Your whole life starts to move. Maybe slowly at first, maybe awkwardly, maybe with shaking hands, but it moves. And movement matters. Movement creates hope. Movement creates energy. Movement creates proof. A man who acts feels different from a man who only thinks. A woman who builds feels different from a woman who only wishes. Action changes the air around you. It tells your mind, we are not dead here. We are still in this. We are still fighting. We are still building. So if life has hurt you, feel it, but do not bow to it. If you have lost time, learn from it, but do not worship it. If you are behind, accept it, but do not use it as a reason to stay behind. Stop crying, start building. The tears may tell the truth about your pain, but your actions tell the truth about your future. So tell me, how much longer are you going to beg life to be easier while your own hands are still empty? Now let me take you deeper, because building is not just about starting. Building is about staying. Anybody can get fired up for one night. Anybody can make a promise when the music is loud and the pain is fresh. But what happens when the room is quiet? What happens when no one is clapping? What happens on the third day, the seventh day, the 30th day, when the result is still not there and you feel foolish for even trying? That is where your future gets decided. Not in the big speech, not in the emotional moment, in the staying, in the watering, in the waiting. Think about a seed in the soil. You do not put a seed in the ground in the morning and scream at the dirt by night because nothing popped up. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is working. You do not cry over the ground and expect a harvest. You plant it, you water it, you protect it. Then you trust the process you started. That is how your life works too. You keep saying you want confidence, but have you planted the habits that grow confidence? You say you want peace, but have you planted order in your day? You say you want money, but have you planted skill, patience, and discipline? You say you want a strong body, but have you planted movement, sleep, and good food? We want the fruit without the root. We want the glow without the grind. We want the harvest without the habit. And life keeps teaching the same lesson over and over again. You do not reap what you hope for. You reap what you plant. Let that settle in. If you plant delay, you harvest regret. If you plant excuses, you harvest weakness. If you plant comfort, you harvest dependence. If you plant discipline, you harvest freedom. If you plant truth, you harvest peace. It is that simple. Not easy, but simple. Every day you are planting something, with your choices, with your thoughts, with your friends, with your use of time. With what you touch before bed and what you reach for in the morning. Every day you put seeds in the ground. Some people plant poison and pray for fruit. Some people plant nothing and act shocked when the field stays empty. Some people plant for 2 days, then quit, then complain that life never gives them a chance. But life gave them a field. Life gave them time. Life gave them hands. They just did not stay in the work long enough. And that is where maturity begins. Maturity begins when you stop needing instant proof. Maturity begins when you can do the right thing for long enough without applause. Maturity begins when you understand that hidden growth is still growth. The root grows in silence. The root grows in darkness. The root grows before anybody praises it. And if the root is weak, the tree falls when the wind comes. So stop being ashamed of your small season. Stop being ashamed that your progress is not loud yet. Some of the strongest lives you will ever see were built in years that looked invisible from the outside. A man learns a trade after work, while others waste the night. A woman puts away a little money each week, while others spend to look rich. A student studies when no test is near. A person trying to heal says no to one more old habit, one more old place, one more old lie. Nothing exciting, nothing shiny, just seeds, just water, just patience, just faith in the quiet. Days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years, and suddenly the person who looked slow is standing in a field full of fruit while the loud crowd is still talking about what they are going to do one day. Stop crying, start building, and understand what building looks like in this season. Sometimes building looks like rest with purpose, not laziness. Sometimes building looks like saying no. Sometimes building looks like keeping your mouth shut and your hands moving. Sometimes building looks like reading, training, saving, learning, and repeating while nobody notices. Good. Let them not notice. Roots do not need applause. Roots need depth. Roots need time. Roots need pressure. And one more thing, protect your seed. Do not plant discipline in the morning and pour doubt on it at night. Do not begin to change and keep sitting with people who laugh at change. Do not say you want a better life while feeding your mind garbage all day. A seed needs good soil. Your mind is soil. Your circle is soil. Your routine is soil. Your words are soil. Guard them. Guard them like your future depends on them, because it does. No drama, no show, no excuses. Just planting, just watering, just returning tomorrow and doing it again. Because the person who keeps showing up in the ordinary will one day do something extraordinary, and people will call it luck because they never saw the root. So look at your life honestly. Look at your habits honestly. Look at your field honestly. What are you planting every single day, and what kind of harvest do you really expect from that? Now let us make it even more real, because a lot of people hear words like discipline and imagine something huge, heavy, and impossible. That is why they stay stuck. They keep staring at the whole mountain and forget that mountains are climbed by steps, houses are built by bricks, and strength is built by reps. One brick, then another, then another. That is how a life rises. Not in one burst, not in one mood, not in one magical Monday. Brick by brick. The reason many people stay frustrated is not because they do not dream. It is because they keep falling in love with the finished house while ignoring the next brick in front of them. They want the body, not the workout. They want the business, not the boring tasks. They want the peace, not the difficult choices. They want respect, but they do not want the daily acts that make a person respectable. Listen carefully. Your life is asking you for one brick, not the whole building. One honest hour, one finished task. One promise kept, one temptation resisted, one form filled out, one chapter read, one run completed, one extra shift worked, one bill paid, one early night, one early morning, one brick. Think about how much pressure leaves your chest when you stop trying to solve your whole life by midnight and start asking, what is my brick today? That question can save you. Because when your mind is scattered, the brick grounds you. When your heart is tired, the brick simplifies the day. When your emotions are loud, the brick gives your hands something useful to do. The brick is humble. The brick is plain. The brick does not care about your excuses. It just waits to be placed. And here is the beautiful part. Every brick you place changes you while it changes your life. Every kept promise tells your mind, I am somebody I can trust. Every finished task tells your spirit, I do not have to be perfect to be powerful. Every hard choice tells your future, I am making room for you. That is why small discipline matters so much. Small discipline is not small. It is identity training, it is self-respect training, it is proof. A lot of people say they have low confidence, but confidence is not built by staring at yourself and repeating nice words in the mirror. Confidence comes when you see evidence. Evidence that you can do hard things. Evidence that your word means something. Evidence that you can start tired and still finish. The mirror does not change you by compliments. The mirror changes you by reflection. The person capable of changing your life is already in the mirror, yes, but he needs evidence. She needs evidence. That is what the brick gives you. Imagine a builder standing on an empty lot. Day 1, 1 brick. It looks silly. Day 2, 10 bricks. Still nothing to brag about. Day 30, a low wall. Day 100, a shape. Day 200, rooms. Day 300, a house you can walk into. And the whole time, from the first brick to the last, the work looked too small to impress the wrong people. Good. Building is not theater. Building is not performance. Building is private before it is public. Building is often boring before it is beautiful. That is why only serious people finish. They do not need each day to feel big. They just need each day to count. You want to know why some people break out of pain and others stay there? Because some use pain to build structure, and others use pain to build stories. Some get hurt and decide, from now on I train, I save, I learn, I sharpen, I rise. Others get hurt and tell the same sad tale to themselves until it becomes a prison. Stop crying, start building. If you lost a year, do not lose 2. If you lost money, do not lose your nerve. If you lost love, do not lose your standards. If you lost confidence, earn it back brick by brick. The body knows reps. The mind knows reps. The life knows reps. Repetition creates weight. Repetition creates shape. Repetition creates momentum. A person who keeps placing bricks eventually becomes someone who cannot be shaken by every mood. Why? Because they have structure. They have rhythm. They have habits that carry them when emotion cannot. And that is freedom, not doing whatever you feel like. Freedom is having a system strong enough to hold you when feelings collapse. So shrink the problem if you need to. Shrink the day if you need to. Do not ask, how do I win the whole year? Ask, what brick do I place before I sleep? Do not ask, how do I fix my whole life? Ask, what action proves I still respect my future? Then do that, quietly, fully, again tomorrow, then again, then again. Because days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years, and one day people will stand in front of the life you built and think it appeared all at once. But you will know, it was 1 brick when no one cared, 1 brick when you were tired, 1 brick when you were hurt, 1 brick when you doubted yourself, 1 brick anyway. So answer me honestly, which brick did you lay today, or did you spend the whole day staring at a house you never started? But there is another reason people stay stuck, and we have to talk about it like grown people. Sometimes the tears are not really about pain anymore. Sometimes the tears are about attachment. Attachment to the past, attachment to an old story, attachment to people who left, attachment to a version of ourselves that no longer fits. And as long as you stay attached to what was, you will fight what could be. Life moves in seasons. That is not poetry, that is reality. There is a time to gather, a time to grow, a time to lose, a time to wait, a time to begin again. And one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make is to think winter means the end. Winter is not the end. Winter is where roots go deeper. Winter is where the tree looks empty but is still alive. Winter is where strength is built without leaves. Think about that. Some of you are in a winter season right now. Things are quiet. Things feel cold. Progress feels slow. People have left. Money is tight. Your confidence has dropped. You look at your life and all you can see are bare branches. And because you only see bare branches, you think nothing is happening. That is the lie. Under the ground, something is happening. Inside you, something is happening. If you use this season well, wisdom is growing, patience is growing, standards are growing, backbone is growing. The question is not whether winter came. Winter comes for everybody. The question is what you will do while it is here. Will you use the cold to sharpen yourself, or will you use it as an excuse to stop? Will you prune what is dead, or will you drag dead weight into spring? Because not everything that hurts to lose was meant to stay. Let that settle in. Some friendships had to go, some habits had to go, some places had to go, some versions of you had to go. And yes, it hurts. Of course it hurts. But pain is not always proof that something wrong is happening. Sometimes pain is proof that something old is leaving. A tree does not cry because summer leaves. It prepares for the next season. We cry because we think what left was our only chance. No, what left may have been a lesson. What left may have been a warning. What left may have made room. And if you keep hugging dead branches, you cannot carry new fruit. This is where courage comes in. The courage to stop asking for approval from people who do not live with the results of your choices. The courage to stop shrinking to fit rooms you have outgrown. The courage to stop building your schedule around distractions and start building it around destiny. Too many people are exhausted because they are trying to be accepted by people who are not even at peace with themselves. Think about that. You are starving your future to feed somebody else's opinion. You are delaying your growth so nobody feels uncomfortable around your change. You are calling it loyalty, but sometimes it is fear. Fear of standing alone. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being called different. Good, be different. Different is where growth lives. Different is where spring begins. If you want a new season, you need new behaviors, new mornings, new standards, new boundaries, new responses, not louder words, better patterns. Stop crying, start building. Stop crying over people who only love the smaller version of you. Stop crying over the years you cannot get back and use the years you still have. Stop crying over winter and start preparing for spring. Read more, spend less, train harder, speak cleaner, sleep better, choose better, and do not be fooled by appearances. A field in winter can still be faithful. A tree with no leaves can still be alive. A person with no applause can still be becoming powerful. So if your season is quiet, good, use the quiet. If your season is lonely, good, use the space. If your season is hard, good. Let it make you harder in the right ways, softer in the wise ways, and clearer in every way. Because when spring comes, and it will come, you do not want to meet it as the same person who cried through winter and learned nothing. You want to meet it prepared, ready, rooted, strong. So tell me, whose voice are you still obeying right now? And is it leading you into spring or keeping you frozen in winter? And now we come to the deepest part of this whole thing, because building is not just what you do with your hands. Building is what you do with your identity. It is the decision to become the kind of person who can carry what he asks for. A lot of people want a bigger life, but they still have the habits of a smaller one. They want peace with a chaotic mouth. They want success with lazy patterns. They want respect with no discipline. They want a strong future with weak daily choices. That cannot hold. If you want a different life, you must become different in the places nobody sees. That is where strength is born, not on the stage, in the reps. Think about push-ups. Nobody gets strong by doing one perfect push-up and then talking about it for a year. Strength comes from repetition under resistance. Down and up, again, again, again. Your life is the same. Every hard moment is a rep. Getting out of bed when your mind is heavy, that is a rep. Going to work with a good attitude when you feel overlooked, that is a rep. Studying when nobody checks on you, that is a rep. Saving money when you want to spend, that is a rep. Staying away from what weakens you, that is a rep. Telling the truth when a lie would be easier, that is a rep. You become strong by repetitions most people will never clap for. That is why real builders do not live off motivation. Motivation is a spark. Reps are a fire. Motivation visits. Reps stay. Motivation gets you started. Reps turn you into somebody new. And here is the gift hidden inside the hard days. Every rep teaches your mind that you are not as fragile as you thought. Every rep breaks the old lie that says, this is too much for me. Every rep teaches your nervous heart to calm down because it has been here before and it knows what to do. This is how you become dangerous in the best way. Not dangerous to others. Dangerous to your old excuses. Dangerous to your old weakness. Dangerous to every pattern that tried to keep you small. Let that settle in. There is a version of you that fear cannot boss around anymore. There is a version of you that does not run every time life gets hard. There is a version of you that does not collapse because somebody rejected him. There is a version of you that can sit with pain, feel it fully, and still move his hands toward the future. That version is not made by wishing. That version is made by reps, by daily resistance, by choosing the better path enough times that it becomes your nature. Stop crying, start building. And build so much evidence that your old doubt has nowhere left to stand. Build until your room looks different. Build until your bank habits look different. Build until your body looks different. Build until your eyes look different. Calm eyes, clear eyes, eyes that know they can handle more because they already have. This is not about becoming hard and cold. No, this is about becoming steady. Steady under pressure, steady under delay, steady under disappointment. A tree that bends without breaking. A back that carries weight without folding, a mind that feels storms but still chooses direction. And one day, if you keep going, you will notice something beautiful. The thing that used to break you now trains you. The thing that used to scare you now sharpens you. The thing that used to make you cry now reminds you to build. That is growth. That is power. That is freedom earned the honest way. So when you leave this moment, do not leave with goosebumps alone. Leave with a standard. Leave with a plan. Leave with a rep you will do before this day ends. One rep, then another tomorrow, then another the day after that. Not because it is easy, not because you feel like it, because that is who you are becoming. A builder, a finisher, a person whose future can trust him. And when your future self looks back on this night, what will he say you finally decided? It was when you got stronger. So if you are waiting for a sign, this is it. If you are waiting for permission, take it. If you are waiting for the pain to disappear before you begin, do not wait any longer. Begin in pain, begin in doubt, begin in the middle of the mess. Just begin. No excuses, no waiting, no quitting, just building, just rising, just becoming unstoppable.